Hello everyone, my name is Manal K. I'll start with my presentation. So starting with the case study which I did was Five Elements House in Pavana Vistas, Maharashtra by architect Puran Kumar. So the main idea of this house was to bring the five elements together to a house. The concept developed from a single cohesive unit to form into a structures of blocks, the interaction between the built and unbuilt spaces. So creating multiple vantage points to embrace the landscape, that is to bring in the views. So this is the brief which I'm taking away from the case study. So we were given four sites and we were supposed to select one among these. The site which I chose is site C. One of the main reasons for choosing this, it is easily accessible from the main approach of the whole site. So this is one of the main reasons. That the other reason I'll explain in the next slide. So the site C is easily accessible and it has better views and suitable contours. So this is the reason why I chose site C. There are two major contours. And one is here and the other one is here, which leads to the river, the Kaveri river, which flows by the river, which is the main identity of the site. Also, the Srirangpatna Fort Wall, which is situated here, that is the heritage identity of the site. So from this point, we get the clear view of both river and the fort wall. So this is the sun path, and the north, and the site is almost aligned to the north, which make the orientation spaces easy. So we get morning light here, and even daylight through, and the light would be we would get it here. So this is a 2D and 3D idea creation. So before, my idea was and the blocks such that they are going to fit in with each other but at a distance. So this was the previous idea, and these are the models which I did. So coming to the next slide. My main concept development, so extracting some key points from the user and the site, as they relate to each other. So my user, who is a cinematographer, so he basically captured different views. Also a site, it has different views, that is how they relate to each other, the user and the site relate to each other. So keeping views is the important concept. I drew this diagram. So and this point has clear view of the river and both, and the wall, the Srirangpatna fort wall. Then and this is the second view, that is the view of the river at a distance, that is overlooking into the river. And this is the block view that is blocked by the vegetation. Also, and this is the pre-existing vegetation inside the site. So I drew the lattice diagram and brought all these blocks together to get the form for the house. So they relate to the site as they're perpendicular to the site, also parallel to the diagonals of the site. So there's the bubble time in the organization spaces. So I put the living, which would get the important view, and also the bedrooms away from the non-private spaces, that is to get some privacy. So these are the organization spaces, and the recreational space in the first floor. So and this is the organization spaces. Coming to the next slide. So the total built-up area of the house is 147.35 square meters. So and these are the areas with respect to the area requirements which are given to us. So this is my site plan where I have shown the roofing and the landscaping, and I'll explain this as I go further with the design. So coming to the plans, so this is the approach to the site. As we enter the site, the path leads us from a lower level to the upper level to the house. As we enter into a smaller space, the pause point before entering into a large space. So the entrance void leads us to a 30-meter square living. So this living, which is built to get the maximum view of the river. So the doors and the windows, which are built from to the level of floor to the ceiling level, which gives a sense of openness to get the maximum view. The user who is interested into reading, and his son and daughter is also interested into reading, provided a rack, they could sit here and read overlooking into the river at a distance, and also the Srirangapatna fort wall, which is the important view with respect to the concept. So also other activities like getting together with the family and friends. So the living continues opens up to the deck, which continues to the office space and bedrooms. So one of the intermediate pause points to overlook into the panoramic view, also the river, which will be at a distance. So as we enter into the corridor, so this corridor, on this with the triangular corridor which we have got, the concept of the house. There's the garden or the courtyard. Uh, so uh, uh, so and, um, and so this creates connection with the nature, with the landscape. As these sliding doors, they open up completely, and this garden, which is built to the level of plinth. So this looks like it is part of the interior, while it is exterior. So so this gives us the connection to the landscape, and also this becomes the vantage point, and so bringing the maximum light into the corridors, not restricting it to the to be dark. So the corridor leads us to the workspace. Are you so Bringing in the also the view of the river into the workspace, where he works for some time, which you would like to have with the view. Also a wall which is dedicated to photography, which is one of his hobbies. So the corridor leads us to the this is the first bedroom, which has access to the deck, and also which to bring in the view. So the with the sliding doors. So with this the attached washroom. So this is the second bedroom, which has access to the backyard. So a user's wife loves backyard gardening. So it gives access to the backyard also. They could walk into the nature. So the living continues to the dining. So dining being one of the important spaces, because a user who has background from a joint family, they all would get together at the dining. So to make experience different, there's the garden on this side, and a water body which is created with the pre-existing vegetation on the side. So as they open up completely, it looks like the dining is part of the nature. So it gives visual connection to the landscape. As the foldable doors, they open up completely, it gives an openness, that is the seamless connection to the outside world. So the kitchen leads us to the dining leads us to the kitchen. So the kitchen, where a user's wife would spend most of the time, which has access to the backyard. So this is the utility space. And this dining, there's a combination of wood and stone to this space. So the living, from the living, there stays to the next floor. So the stairs from the living room leads us to the first floor. So as we enter here, this is the common washroom, a TV room, or the home theater. As one of the specific interest of a user is watching movies along with his family, and also son who is into gaming, so playing games with his son. So a TV room for that. So the corridor leads us to the gym, as he do not miss the gym even a single day. He would like to have his in the second house, which is also provided with a huge window to bring in the views. So this the corridor leads us to the terrace. So this entrance always provided with mm, games like chess or some indoor games. So this open to the sky, that is the internal garden. So this part of the house provided with the gable roof, and there's the flat roof, and the deck, it leads to the lower levels, to the and the next contour. So this is the outdoor living. From here, the next level leads us to the river. Get We can get access to the river. So the outdoor living where they can get together at night or play games or some outdoor games, all of those things. So this is how I have created some multiple vantage points to bring in the landscape, to get the views, to embrace the landscape, to have connection with the landscape. So coming to the sections, the first section which I have taken is from here. So this section goes through the kitchen, the dining room, and the living. So and this is the plinth. Coming to this is the kitchen, and this is the dining room. We can see here the folding doors which open up completely. So there's a water body there, and there's the living room, the stage which leads to the first floor, and the window which is provided here to bring in light into the stays. So there's the TV room, the living room which continues with the deck, a swing which is provided there. So the deck which leads us to the lower level. So that's the outdoor living. So the section of this is the gable roof. So height is around 3 meters. Also reduce this height. So the gable roof, they are at a particular height, so it gives a sense of closeness. The next section which I have taken is from here, which goes through the bedroom, and this shows the terrace. So this is the internal garden we can see, which is at the same level. So this opens up completely. So this gives a sense of openness. Being part of the interior. So this is the dining room, and so entrance wire which we can see at the back, and the parking space. So this is the water body. So this from where we entered. So coming to the elevation, so this is the elevation which is the north elevation which is facing the river. So the deck which extends, they are supported with the piers. So the doors and the windows, the multiple vantage points we can see. So the doors and the windows, they have been provided with a less frame size to bring in the maximum views. So and this part of the house is provided with the gable roof, which provides protection from the rain and sun to the walls. So the height of the gable roof is around 2 meters. It is at an angle of 30 degrees, so it's not. It doesn't give much openness to the room. It also provides so that there is a sense of closeness. So this is the entrance foyer. The materials, most materials is the combination of wood and stone, which gives a aesthetic look. So this is the east elevation from where we enter. So this is the we can see the deck which is provided with the piers. So this is the dining space and the kitchen. So these are the different views. So this view, this part which it tilts at an angle of 45 degree. We can see the office space, the gym in the first floor, and the first bedroom, and this is the terrace. And here we can see the entrance foyer, and the parking space, and the dining space and the kitchen. So these are the elevations and the different views. So that's it from my side. Thank you everyone.